of Jofo in the Ring. And yes, my name is Frank Jofo, and we have a special guest. He is the co-owner of Crossbody Pro Wrestling, and in my opinion, the #1 heel in Montreal independent wrestling today, Big Ben Ortmanns. What's going on, brother?
You know, just keeping myself rather busy these days, my friend, between stuff that I got going on back home with Crossbody Pro Wrestling, with, you know, my busy, what I've got on my plate down in IWS. It's keeping me rather busy these days, and I couldn't be happier, especially with where I was at just a few months ago. So I'm right back into the swing of things, and so I'm stoked about it, man.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. And there was a recent interview that you had a couple of days ago. There was a big announcement that you had. Can you tell the viewers and Jofo in the Ring here about that great big announcement that you had?
Yeah, so we became partners with Prime Hydration and Prime Energy, and they're now so essentially Crossbody Studios is now an official retailer of Prime Hydration and Energy. And we have begun you know, this is one of those kind of weird relationships where it came out of nowhere, man. And it's a small stepping stone for right now that could potentially, I don't even know what it could potentially lead to, because I didn't even know that this was a thing. All I know is that it's pretty cool that the company has, like, they know who we are. They've obviously given us the go ahead. Like, we have a fridge in our gym now, which is wild. It's fully stocked fridge with all of the different flavors that you can get in Canada, which is something that you'll be able to get if you come to any of our Uproar tapings, if you come to any of our live, like, premium events, if you are just train with us. So that's going to be available for us, which is something that's pretty cool, just because for those who don't know, Crossbody Studios is in we're a room in a church, and it's a really weird relationship, but they love having us there, and they've been nothing but great to us. And sometimes we just don't have people there to sell water or like refreshments or stuff like that, because we usually let them do it, just because it's kind of like our way of like helping give extra back to the church for allowing us to be there, you know. And sometimes they can't make it, and you know, I know that for me, for someone who's just constantly on the go, as far as like producing the show, trying to wrestle, trying to train, trying to do all of the different jobs that come within my little neck of the woods here, I get tired very fast, you know, and there's been times where it's just like, man, I would love to just have a coffee or like an energy drink right now. And it's very cool to know that I've got that afforded to me now. So like I said, it's the start of something that's pretty damn cool. It's very neat to be able to know that we can have that, you know, logo on our poster, and like be able to, it's a cool business partnership, man. Yeah. Because for me, what that means is that it means that everything is up for grabs. So not to say like nothing isn't, but like that just goes to show that like sometimes the smallest things can just lead into who knows, man. But very cool partnership that I'm very, very proud of, and look forward to in the future.
Well, here at Jofo in the Ring, we want to congratulate you on that. We're very happy for you. You know what? I love to ask you, what's your favorite flavor? What's your favorite Prime drink going right now?
That's easy. The hydration drink. If you get your hands on the Glowberry, oh boy, it's a green apple flavored drink, and I'm a green apple man. I love that stuff. So the lime flavor is probably my second favorite of the energy drinks. The lime is definitely my favorite. The ice pop is really good. My girlfriend really loves the ice pop. We're both big fans of the watermelon strawberry one as well. The good thing is that there's the blue raz I'm not a fan of, just being honest with you, but I know a lot of people that are. So, you know, that's the cool thing, is that like, just because I like something or you don't like something doesn't mean that you won't like the other thing. I think that there's something there for everybody, which is which is rather neat. And I know that it's kind of got dragged through the mud a little bit, as far as like a product and whatever. But that's up for your own personal decision. And all I know is that it's something that I personally enjoy. I know that it's when you look into all of the different things, like, oh, it's over caffeinated and it's over this blah blah blah. No, it's not. Or else I couldn't sell in Canada. Like, there's literally like,
there you go.
Yeah. So just do a little bit of research, and if you don't like it, then don't have it. And but if you would like to get your hands on it, we've got it, and we sell at the exact same price that everybody else does in retail. So it's not one of those like we put a premium price just because you're coming to a wrestling show. We just want to make sure that all of our audience members and performers and whoever comes there is properly taken care of.
So for someone that's never heard of Crossbody Pro Wrestling, describe to the viewers what it's all about and where they could find where they could find to watch it, and if they're in town, if they want to come and watch it, where they could come and watch it.
So that's a great question, just because you kind of double layered it, because the reality is that anybody can watch this. We film every other Friday for when we're in season, just because we're in our second season now. And we film every other Friday. We film 2 weeks of YouTube television, and every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. on youtube.com/Crossbody Pro Wrestling Academy, all one word. You can come in and you can be a part of the live chat. You can come be a part of just watching everything live, like the premiere rather. And to my knowledge, I think, and again, I could be wrong about this, I'm pretty sure it's the only weekly independent show that's probably out there, especially on YouTube. I don't know that for sure. I know other people have YouTube shows, but like weekly, this time slot, this like storylines, the whole shebang, backstage interviews, like character growth, development, like the entire thing, title matches, like intergender matches, like you name it, like and all of it builds up to a premium event that we air on like they get filmed, and then they air on Saturdays, like in the afternoon, sort of like a pay-per-view would, I guess. Yeah. And they're 2 hour or 2 hour plus events, however long we decide to go. And so there's like blow-offs to all of these great stories that we're telling. And the idea is to showcase Canadian wrestling, and especially like the younger Canadian wrestlers, because, there's plenty of people like the dudes, I like to say, as far as like Canadian wrestling go, I don't like to, like, I don't know, maybe I'm hard on myself, but I don't put myself like in that category. Like I feel like I still always have to constantly keep building and building and building. And I'm completely okay with doing these, like wrestling on these weekly shows for like, I don't pay myself for any of this stuff. And I certainly don't make any money doing this stuff because, we only charge $10 a ticket. So the whole goal is to get people there back consistently on a bi-weekly basis. And then for the like live events and whatnot, right? Like, for example, Sunday, October 1st, this coming Sunday, we've got AEW star Ortiz taking on Gabriel Fuerza in our main event of our 7-year anniversary show, which is a huge deal, especially when you know the backstory and you realize like that they both literally begged me for this match, that they wanted to have it at Crossbody just because it meant that much to Fuerza where it was, just because of what he's done for our company and what we've been able to provide for him.
Great talent.
He's the best, man. Like he's the guy right now. Like, like I was just saying this in another interview today, but whenever, especially Ontario, and I'm sure that it's probably the same way within like Montreal, just because there's been so many guys that have taken off from there. But with Ontario, the guys that leave Ontario to go to a bigger and better things, it's like there's always this final push to get them the fuck out, where it's like they bring in like all of the people that get brought in get fed to the dude. So then that way it's like they have their run, and like promoters can kind of say like, hey, we had him like on our show against this guy and whatever. And it's like a resume builder for both the wrestler, the performer, and in the company. So not to say that that's what my thing is. It's just that, Fuerza's done so much for my company, and, I always just kind of had this thing with him where I said, if I can get you a dream match of yours, I would. And this just so happened to be his dream match. And it just so happened to be like perfect timing that we were able to make it on our anniversary show. So it's like this perfect whirlwind of things that kind of all came about and like organically to make this all happen. And if you're in the Cambridge, Ontario area, which I don't know how many listeners you have in this like area, but if you do, it's 132 Argyle Street North. You just follow us on social media. If you go to @CBPW Academy, but you'll be able to find us. And like Crossbody Studios on Facebook, all of our updates are there. And like I said, we've got some really cool stuff going on if you're within the area. But if you're not within the area and you want to check out what we're doing and what my like our vision of what Canadian pro wrestling is and our storylines and all these different things that, you know, have real payoffs for viewers that, you know, and I'm starting to notice it in the comments as well, where they're starting to pick up little things in season 2 where they're like, like this thing, like, because they've watched season 1 and like, it's neat that they're starting to kind of pick it all up. And for the viewer that does pay attention, there are a lot of treats in there for you. So go to youtube.com/Crossbody Pro Wrestling Academy and enjoy like the whole season 1, like everything that we've done, like everything before that we did our weekly Crossbody Pro Wrestling Uproar show, which is what the show is called, like all of our like bigger shows that we've done, like everything. We've got matches with like Rich Swann versus Josh Alexander, probably the most popular video and match that I've ever had, and one of my favorite matches that I've ever promoted, probably my favorite match, which was Danhausen versus Psycho Mike. And if you haven't seen it, go out of your way to watch it because it's the greatest, most entertaining match that you will ever see in your life. We've got an entire back catalog of like some really great wrestling if you like great Canadian wrestling.
Well, you know what? It's great to see that you're putting Canadian wrestling on a pedestal, and it should be. And speaking about Canadian wrestling, I just want to switch gears for just a little bit of a moment. I know that Speedball Mike Bailey is a good friend of yours. You look up to him. I was at the match when you went for the title in IWS. I know Speedball Mike Bailey means a lot to you. Can you describe the feeling you had wrestling your good friend Speedball Mike Bailey in the main event of the IWS?
Like there was layers to why that meant so much to me, just because of how we got there. You know, that whole thing started as like a Twitch like goal. Like it was like a thing to kind of help raise both of our like the viewership of our channels. And unfortunately the goal was like just fell short of getting met. So we ended up doing something different where IWS's first show back, we did a 6-man tag, and then you know, Speedball and I, you know, wrestled pretty much against each other in the match. And then once that match happened and we realized the chemistry that we actually had, and everybody else saw the chemistry that we had, just because it ended up being one of those things where we were both vlogging it all at the time. So like it ended up on his vlog and my vlog. So like anybody that was following me saw it, anybody that was following him saw it. And then there was like this kind of like group of people, like a lot more people saw it than what were intended. And I think, again, I don't know this for sure, but I think that IWS was kind of like, we're grabbing this and doing this before anybody else does, because like there's something here, you know?
Yeah.
And thankfully, I'm very, very grateful. Like to my Ontario friends, I like to brag that Speedball and I are the first 2 dudes that main evented and sold out MTELUS. The only other person to do it was Rey Mysterio, and then it was us. Now, I don't know if it was actually us. I would like to, because I'm always going to give Manny and Andrew all of the credit for just hustling their ass off, because they're the most passionate and incredible promoters ever. So they 1000% did it. But I'm just so lucky to say that I got to headline and main event that show with my best friend in the most important match that I've ever had in my entire life. That was so, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say that was so good, because I don't like saying that about any of my stuff, but it ended up becoming a 1-hour documentary on the Fight Network. And I think that that's kind of like one of the cooler things that you can say about something. It's just like this idea that a friend and I had about, that was, you know, really started out as a Twitch thing, became this thing that was so big and was probably the most, actually, without a shadow of a doubt, the most important night of my life in my entire wrestling career. And that says a lot for especially the things that I've been up to the last couple of years. So, because we built that organically, that was us. That meant a lot. Like I'll never forget, like when that I heard that 3 count on the mat, I just was like, man, we fucking did it. Like,
banger
son of
match,
a bitch,
banger match.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Cause like that was one of those things where we put everything that we had into that. Like we went out with the intention of like, we are like, I love you, but we are going to kick the absolute living shit out of one another. And you know, that's our art. That's just what we love. And that's both the stroke of the brush that we like to use, I suppose, for our art. And it was just very cool to finally be able to do that. And, you know, as happy for him as I am that he's doing all of his stuff, because I like I said, that man's my brother. Like I love him to death.
Best in the world. Best in the world. Best in the world, man.
Exactly. It'll forever bum me out to know that like it's just probably like I just don't see it getting booked again. Like I just don't know who's going to do it. And that part is going to bug me because I know that we would do so much better the second time around. But you know, a boy can dream, I suppose.
Exactly. But your style, I like your style because I like your heel work, especially in Montreal, because Montreal for some reason hates the shit out of you, but you embrace it, and I think deep down inside you enjoy it. Is there something there with Montreal and your heel work, Ben?
You know, I have a theory about this. I have a theory that they didn't like me because I don't know this for sure, but my theory is that they thought that I was trying to be shoved down their throat as like the new kicky, punchy guy because Speedball was on his way out and I was kind of the new guy on the way in. And I feel like maybe they felt like they were trying to pass the torch to me and they were just like, who the fuck is this guy? No, we don't accept this as our thing. And I kind of understood that in a weird way. And like, if that is the case, because I maybe I would feel the exact same way if I was in their shoes, especially knowing the Montreal crowds, the way that I know them now, having been a part of that for a couple of years. I kind of get the vibe and like the gist of it now. So, then it was like, I think it was maybe like a show or two later where, you know, I you know, damn well, I put everything I have into my matches, man. Like I work my ass off. I don't leave anything in the ring. I'm that guy that you see huffing and puffing on the way back, not because I'm out of shape. It's just because whatever I've got in my tank, I'm leaving it the fuck out there because that's just how I believe is the proper thing to do.
Yeah.
So, I remember it was Benjamin Tull I was wrestling. And there was just chanting Benjamin. And then I just jokingly was just like, oh, thanks. You're finally cheering for me. And then there was like this large group of people that just like stood up and just started flipping me off like passionately. And I just was like, I had this like, this was a real moment that I had. Like, this was not a wrestling character at all. Like this was Ben Ortmanns just being like, yo, fuck you motherfuckers. I'm like, I am not accepting this. So I just remember like
there was even the match. Sorry to interrupt you. There was even the match you had, if I do believe, against Puff. And everybody, like you were going off on everybody. And everybody was just, I felt everybody was just going to swarm the ring and beat you up for some reason. Especially how everybody loves Puff. But just as much as you were hated in Montreal, I loved every second. I loved your work in Montreal because of your heel work and everything. But that was probably the top of the top, like for me.
Well, I just like I said, I remember just being in the pocket, and I just remember saying like, you know what? And I even remember to this day what I said, just because I was just like, I felt it. I was just like, you know, from the bottom of my heart, fuck each and every fucking one of you motherfuckers. And I meant that shit. And then all of a sudden, everybody else just like stood up. And then I just remember charging it tall, and then he moved and he just started lighting me up like a Christmas tree. And I just remember the place going like bonkers. And when he finally ended up beating me, he ended up putting me through a door, I believe it was. And the place, like they counted 3. The place went fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And he had left by the time I had kind of started getting up. And then by the time I got up, the place just all of a sudden went from like cheers to just automatic boos again. And I was just like, yo, is this where we're at? And then all of a sudden I just did the same thing. And I was just like, hey, you know what? Fuck all of you. And then it was just it was even more. And then it just kind of became like this thing between us. And then I think they just wanted to hate me. And then they just needed something to latch onto. And then I finally gave it to them. So then they were finally able to enjoy my matches, just so then that way I would give it back to them. And like you were saying, that match with Puff that I did was wild, because I think it was Club Soda. And there was like, it was like hanging on. Like I went up to the second rope to go and then there's like I remember being like middle fingers were like this close to like other dudes that were like, it was wild. And then it kind of became a thing where like audience members were like trying to take pictures of themselves, like giving me the finger, or like you know what I mean? And like with
amazing.
was fun. But the weird thing is nowadays I get cheered at IWS, and it's mind blowing to me. But at the same time, it's kind of nice because it's not that I ever wanted to become a babyface there or anything like that. Because I'm a passionate dude. So however, which way you want to ride with me, I'm gonna ride with you passionately either way. You know what I mean? But when they started cheering for me the last couple of shows, it was like, hey, I don't know if this means like you finally given me your fucking tip of the cap, because I know that you guys don't like to do that very easily. And I hope that means that maybe I earned it. But if I'm gonna ride this wave with y'all, and I'm excited for it, man. Like we've had some really good matches lately at IWS, and I think from what I understand, what's happening at the next show, I don't know for exact sure, but I've kind of heard rumblings, and that's going to be one of those opportunities for me to kind of get myself back into the swing of things, hopefully. And so I'm looking forward to that, because I love IWS with like everything in my fucking being, man. Like that, I don't think I'd be who I am right now or what I'd be doing without them. So love that company to death.
Before I let you go, I would be remiss not to ask, how did it feel to get beat up by Ronda Rousey as a security guard on WWE TV a couple of months ago?
So I have to dispute that, because I don't believe I did get. I was cheap shotted. I don't think that I was beat up, because everybody says that I was trying to tap out, which is actually a lie, because I was trying to punch her in the face, if you want me to be blatantly honest, because that shit hurt. And I wasn't trying to be a bitch on TV. Unfortunately, the camera angle made me look like a real bitch on TV. But but to answer your question, it was cool, dude. Like it was really cool. Like it was one of those things where I'm not that guy that is satisfied just being in a extra role on television, and there are people that are, and I'm not, trying to demean them in any way, but that's just not me and what I'm trying to get. I want to wrestle. I want to be on television. I want to have a contract. I want to be able to show the world what I'm actually capable of, whether it be on television or whether it be behind the scenes, in a coaching role, or whether it be in like a producer or like a writer's role, just because I've been blessed to, have multiple opportunities to learn a lot of different facets of the business. So, that's all I want. I want to make a living off of wrestling because I just love the business so much. So when that happened, it was just like, I wasn't satisfied because I still didn't get my match, but it was also one of those things where it was with the right person and it was like the right spot. And I got to be a part of something rather neat. And not only did I get to be a part of something rather neat, but for me, like the cherry on top was the commentating team was Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, which if anybody knows me, like I'm a Pat McAfee dude, like
big time,
through. So, you know, so the whole thing, and to cap it all off, it was in Montreal in the Bell Center, which again, like I just, you know, I've been telling people like for the last couple of years jokingly, but I almost like mean it like to death now. It's like I'm a Montreal wrestler that just so happens to live in Ontario. Like, you know, that's how I feel love in Montreal and I feel growth in Montreal and I get to be myself in Montreal. And I don't have people like trying to like tell me what not to be, you know what I mean? Or like bitch because, you know, I hit too hard or anything like that. Like all of these crazy ass things are like welcomed, you know, like IWS is like, it's almost like this weird ECW, like misfit type land of toys, you know, misfit toys type situation. And, you know, we're that group that like individually, I don't know if everybody wants us, but like as a group, you can't fucking stop us, dude.
That's for sure.
We're doing some really great stuff right now, and we're on pay-per-view and we're on Fight Network, and you know, like Manny and Andrew have provided us an unbelievable platform to go knock it the fuck out of the park, and I think that our team has certainly been doing that lately.
Well, IWS is on top of the world right now, especially in Canada. So before we let you go, Ben, tell us where we could find you on social media. Crossbody Pro Wrestling as well on social media and on YouTube, so everyone could follow your journey.
Yeah, please. If go give me a follow at Big Ben is Angry on all social medias. You can follow the Crossbody Pro Wrestling account at CBPW Academy on all socials as well. You can go and watch Uproar every single Wednesday, and you can go watch all of our back catalog at youtube.com/Crossbody Pro Wrestling Academy. And that's, I believe, all of the socials, if I remember correctly. That is all of the socials. So please go give them all a follow. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, as I say, like these are the things that you can genuinely show support for, not just wrestlers and companies, but like the small business that we are, by literally just hitting those buttons. It's free as fuck to hit them. So please do, because it genuinely does help us out. So, hopefully you go watch, you know, all of the Crossbody Uproar stuff. Hopefully you pay attention to IWS. Hopefully you pay attention to my personal journey, because I promise you, I'm giving everything I got to make sure that you enjoy everything that you see in front of you and that you're entertained as fuck. So,
well, we'd like to thank you for your time to coming on the show, and congratulations again for having Prime as your number one drink for Crossbody Pro Wrestling. And just one last thing, I know you're a big baseball fan, Blue Jays fan. Are they going to pull it off this year?
The Blue Jays are Blue Jays and so hard right now. It is just, no, they're not. They're not going to do it. I would love for them to, but I mean, if you want me to just be realistically, I think the Expos have a better shot of getting to the playoffs this year than the Jays do. So.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. Maybe we could see some new attire from you with Blue Jays attire. I love the Blue Jays attire that you added the last pay-per-view, but that's for another date. Thanks. But thank you again, Ben, for all your time, and I
appreciate you. Thank you very much for having me.
And we'll talk to you soon, and have a good night, my friend. And everybody out there,
thank you very much.
Follow his journey. Follow him on social media. Crossbody Pro Wrestling Academy. Check it out, and remember, wrestling is life.
So, Jofo, I'm a gargle a shot for Kurt Hennig and everybody before we go.
Oh, no.
Jofo, thank you guys.